Hello and welcome back to the channel and welcome to the S5. So this car was actually a car that we bought back last summer and it was our actual first experience with Copart. It was a really good experience, I must say. We had a car that came to us that was far better than we actually thought it was going to be. Got it for a bargain price. £3,500 was all it was. That was all in delivery and everything. And this was bought for Carl's son, who previously had one and really wanted another. So over the course of this video, what we're going to do is we're going to show how we're going to repair this damage that we've got. So it was actually cast off the damage that you can see here. And obviously it looks minimal damage, but if they can't get behind the panels, the insurers will tend to contest this type of damage. Right, cold start on the S5. This is the Mark 1 4.2 V8 version. It's really good. This is the first time I got to see it fire up. Obviously no smoke coming out the back. Sounds really good. Sounds as a V8 should. Nice healthy engine, so it's great to hear that running. So a little bit more information on this car, and basically we managed to pick it up for, believe it or not, £3,500, and that was delivered and everything. As I say, all we had damage-wise was just the sill and the back sort of wing, if you like, on the passenger side. Everything else in the car was absolutely immaculate. Been obviously really well looked after. Even in the boot, still had the original sort of Audi first aid kit and everything like that. And as well, as you can see, white seats and the pristine, really. So for a car of this sort of age, to still have seats as clean as that, it was far better than we was actually expecting. A few little extras on there, like the carbon finish as well, on some of the trims in the interior. And when we actually had a look at the MOT history as well, the MOT history was really good on it. Another reason why we did bid on this one was because of that. So we did a little bit of a history check on that, and obviously utilising as well the report that you get through Copart, just to see what they had on it, and all the mileage lined up nice and smoothly. It's only a low mileage car as well, low owner car as well, which again is something that you can see in the Copart history. Just another thing that normally lends itself to a car being well looked after. Okay, so I just wanted to quickly show as well a bit of the reporting process, and in terms of what Copart provide you. It's hit and miss. Some cars have a little bit more information than others, but this one was a really good report that we got through for this. So you've got the likes of your date of manufacture, so this is a 2010 S5, and then going further into it, you've got things like your previous owners. It's only a really low owner car, this 2 owners, and then going further into it, you've got your acceleration, so you've got a bit of spec on the car as well, 5 miles per gallon, things like your wheel specs, any plate changes as well, if anyone's put any private regs on there, that's shown, and then standard specification of the vehicle, some history on the vehicle, and again this just shows you the dates of like the plate changes, past MOTs, failures as well, and then further down, if there's any recent failures or advisories, normally it'll give you a little bit of a writing as to what it failed on or what it was advised on. So yeah, really good reports, to be honest, and this gives us the confidence as well to go on it, obviously then bid on the car. This, I would say as well, combined with doing a proper MOT check. So I'll link to a little bit of a clip that shows how you can perform it. MOT checks, dead easy, and it's free to do as well, so it's a no-brainer really. It's as simple as typing it in Google, making sure you're clicking on the government website version. This is free to do, so I would say a must to do for any car. All you've got to do then is type in your reg, press OK. All your details are then verified at the front end, and then you can literally go through your MOT history from most recent, obviously, to even its first MOT that it had. So the most recent one here is actually showing when we got the car back on the road. This is a car that we'd actually bought summer last year. So by the time we got it back on the road, it was September 2024, and it was only sitting at 68,000 miles. So a real low mileage car for its age, with it being a 2010 model. And again, in terms of this, really just highlights any advisory shown. So you can see tyre advisories there. The last failed MOT was electronic handbrake. So it's good to see that failure then followed by another MOT done 2 days later to prove that them works were carried out. So again, shows that the vehicle's been well looked after, and to see that work's been done straight away. And obviously with a failure, it has to be done anyway, but seeing that there's no advisories on the later MOTs is where it really sort of highlights if you've got any failures and then it's showing advisories, or if you've got continuous advisories on any specific thing, that's where I'd be a little bit worried. when you do go to older MOTs, especially with a car of this age, what you'll probably find is there's quite a few that come up, whether it's failures or advisories on tyres. That seems to be the main one. That's not something I'd ever worry about. Tyres are obviously a part that's used and replaced commonly, and a lot of people, believe it or not, will leave it until the very last minute or until the MOT is due before they actually realise that they're on slicks. But yeah, the main ones to look out for are them advisories, where it's any mechanical issues or any rust issues, because that's where you could really be hit with the bill. But as I say, really good tool to use, and it's a free tool to use. So I'd always advise anyone to do this before you're buying any car second hand. Right, so back at the S5, Carl's been working on while I've been sort of away. He's been cracking on with this one, and I'll show you a bit of the work he's done so far. So we've got the door now completely pulled out with pin puller, which we're going to try and film that process basically on this back arch here. So we'll have a go at doing that. Also, Carl's managed to pull out the arch as well, so that's looking nice now. And then in terms of us actually getting this back sill out, we're actually going to be trying to push that out from the inside. So Carl again has cracked on getting the bottom bases of the seats out. As you can see there, it's just a case of him pulling out of that after taking the ice fixes out. We'll get this off, and then yeah, we'll try and see what access we've got down in that section from there. But yeah, it's cracked on. That door's looking good now, to be fair. And then obviously once all this work's been done, be a case of getting it to the painters and getting it all flashed in. And then that's pretty much it for the S5 then. So shouldn't be far off getting this back on the road. So Carl cracked on, pulling off them inner trims. This is, as I said before, just to give us that access that we need to behind the sill and behind the bottom of that wing where we've got them dints where it's been pushed in from the crash. Hopefully then get these tools in and put some pressure in to basically push it back out and get it as close to where it actually should be sitting from the factory finish basically. Next stage, back seats out now. So Carl's going to use his tool, basically push out that back arch, and you can see here, taking that bit of trim out on the interior, we can get to every section there from the inside. So it's going to be, I've never seen this tool in use before, so it'll be quite good to see this, how this pushes out the dint down that sill. Carl's pretty confident now that we can access all that. We will be able to actually fully get this out. So yeah, try and video that process and show how that's done as well. This is basically a bit of kit that's going to be used. Hydraulic press that will slot down into there, into the gap, and push the outer skin out. Right, so Carl actually tasked me with this job. As I say, it's the first time me doing this, so it was really good to sort of get a bit of experience with this, and obviously learning from Carl. Carl being a professional at it, no better person to learn from. It's mad as well to see how the skills basically involved in it, using the little hammer just to tap back certain areas, so it really helps to shape that outer skin. So next stage, Carl's looking to prep the outer skin ready for us using the pulling tool. When he's doing this, essentially he's looking at grinding off the paintwork off the outer skin, so we can actually access that and get a nice weld onto the skin of the outer arch, and then we can look to weld onto that and use the pulling tool to pull out the arch back into line where we've not been able to push it into position. So in order to do that and not actually fry all the electrics on the car, because obviously you got all your earths still attached at this point, you got your battery attached, you basically need to use this tool that I'll push up on the screen now. This is a surge protector and it attaches to the battery terminals. This is your protection for all your electrical circuits and will basically stop you from short circuit anything out. You're not going to blow any fuses while you're performing any of the welding works on the actual skin of the car. So with that protection in place, Carl's attaching the tabs, welding those basically onto the skin of the car, and then he's using the pulling tool to basically pull out the outer skin of the car. So you're doing the opposite of your pushing mechanism that I did on the inside of the car, and I'd definitely say this takes more skill than it did using the pushing tool. Then following that, Carl's going around with a couple of tools. He's got the hammer that he was using earlier on, and then there's also basically a backwards hammer that you weld onto the skin of the car, and as it suggests, you're using it in a backwards form of a hammer to pull out the skin of the car into position that you need. Again, this is a real sort of skill it takes to perform this work, so I left that to him. And I then got back into the car from the inside using that pushing tool again. But I must say, I probably made it far harder than it needed to be for Carl. But luckily, he's got a lot of patience and he put up with me and yeah, did the extra work then to correct my mistakes and got it near as damn it perfect. Ready for the next stage, which is filler for the swage lines being spot on and then basically prepping for the paint.
Just keep a bit of weather off it, won't it, for now?
So we used a bit of high build primer, and that's basically, as Carl said then, just keep the weather off it, stop that bare metal from getting rusty. And as you can see here, massive progress made on this, so it's absolutely great to see. All done within a couple of hours really on a nice sunny day. And yeah, essentially Carl's going to go back to it and prep it for paint, and that'll be the final stage for us and hand it over to get sprayed. So with that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it if you could like, subscribe, comment on this. And the next video will be the S5 coming back from the painters and being fully resprayed.